Hey everybody, I'm Sean.
And I'm Steph.
And we, right here, are Rampant Design. I'd like to welcome you to the very first episode of Running Rampant. It's a weekly or pseudo-weekly vlog showing you behind the scenes of Rampant Design, talking a little bit about what it's like to run a small business, and take questions from our fans, customers, friends, random people we don't know, and just, anybody else out there. So this is basically it. It's just a way for us to talk to you guys. So yeah, I mean, it's really a super informal episode, super informal show, really, just us talking to you guys about what's going on and what is going on right now.
Well, let's see. We have got a lot. Actually, we always have a lot going on. But
True.
This week we should be releasing our new project with Iographer that you can find only at iographer.com. It is a filmmaker toolbox, which is full of rampant goodies for you to put on everything. So. Everything from our style effects, like our overlays, transitions, animated mats, all that stuff. There are lower thirds in there. There are backgrounds. Gosh, there's a lot of stuff in there. It's just a really jam-packed full toolbox full of awesome goodies that you can stick on your videos today.
It's a handheld toolbox. I don't have one in my hand. This is empty. I'm not going to composite or track one in later. Every single drive has already been sold. We're currently sold out, and we've yet to ship the drive, so I don't have a drive I can show you, but we'll get one, and I'll cut to some footage or something like here or somewhere. But yeah, it's an HD USB 3.0 drive. It holds a bunch of HD elements. It's well over 1,000 drag and drop effects, and it's being sold exclusively through Iographer. It's for people who buy from Iographer. It's really it's a very cool product. Check it out here. We'll show photos, video, whatever. So that's been taking up the majority of our time. We've just done tons of rendering, tons of creation, tons of shooting. Just finished shooting the promo and all the box shots. And once I'm done building the physical drives, Stephanie takes it over. And what do you do with the drives?
I have to build them, so that means I have to put a logo on top. The Rampant R that you see on all of our hard drives is all hand painted. So I paint them, paint it on, then I box it up and ship it out. These are actually really cool because they come inside their own little case, which we'll show you video of. Which,
again, we don't have any of because they're all sold.
We'll show you video of those, though. We'll get some new ones in and start making some more, so we'll get you some video.
We'll do that.
It comes inside its own little case. It really is portable. It's nice, so I have to also put an R on that, which is also hand-painted. So I do the R on the drive, then do the R on the case, and then put it all together and put it in a box and ship it off. So there's been a ton of work going into that. And
it's true.
Yeah.
I didn't sort of stop you or anything.
That's good. That's good. We're keep going.
Okay, so in addition to showing behind the scenes what's going on, sometimes it's as boring as bookkeeping or social networking. Sometimes it's fun, like shooting in the studio. Other times we'll probably have like a camera here live shooting this nonsense that's not live, but we'll have a live version, whatever. In addition to all of that, we're going to take questions, like I said, from our fans and our customers about anything, about small business, about running Rampant. The very first question that we want to address is something we hear all the time, either on email or on the phone. When we're at trade shows, people make the assumption that we're a very big company. It's kind of strange.
But awesome.
Hey, I love
Great.
it. I love that you think we're a big company, but the reality is that Rampant Design Tools, or Rampant Design, whatever you want to split it.
We're the whole thing.
This is it.
Yeah,
There are no other employees. There's nothing else going on. When you come to see us at a trade show, we have good friends. Eric Hartman and Kelly Hartman. They usually help us out. They're from Sea Light Entertainment. They are not employees of Rampant, but they do come down to NAB and help us out when we have a trade show. And of course, you saw a bunch of famous people like Kevin P. McAuliffe, Deb Eschweiler, Monica Daniel. They were all talking at our booth. All guests, not employees. So yeah, this is Rampant Design. Everything you see at rampantdesigntools.com was created by either Stephanie or myself. All the promos, all the commercials, all the box shots, the website, everything. So yeah, it's really flattering to get all the compliments that we seem like a big company or that we even know what we're doing. I love to hear that. You guys look like you know what you're doing. Thanks.
Compliment.
Completely by accident, really.
Trial and error.
Yeah. So basically how it works at Rampant is I create all the promos, and the majority of the products are created by me. There's only 2 products at rampantdesigntools.com that I haven't personally created. Those would be the Texture Toolkit and the Monster Toolkit, and they were created by yours truly over there. So yeah, I mean, that's it. I'll let you say what you do. What I do is the promos, the products, a lot of the social networking, the ads, things of that nature. If you order a hard drive, I physically build the drive. I'm the one who loads all the media, formats the drives, loads them up, and then sets them up for Stephanie to paint. But pretty much 99% of all the stuff that happens here at Rampant,
That's
literally
not
just work here.
necessarily true,
I just work here.
So he does all the creative stuff, product, development, creation. I'm a good grip, but I don't know what I'm doing.
Well, she helps out on set.
He just tells me what to do, and I just do it. So
when I'm shooting, she helps out for sure. But I wouldn't say what she doesn't do. What she does isn't creative, though. Let me tell you, you do the website.
Well, I do all the website stuff. So I do all of our code, all of our shopping cart stuff. That's all me. So if there's ever an issue, you can always tell me, because I'm not a perfect person at website by any means. I just kind of, do my best and make it look good as best I can. So I do website. I also do all the customer service. Whenever you call or email, you're talking to me, not anybody else. You can say that you talked to that other girl, but that other girl was me.
She's always the other girl. Hey, I talked to somebody else. She's the somebody else.
Yeah. And let's see. So all customer service stuff, from phone calls, emails, anything that you have a question with, I'm answering you. You can always see. I always answer by Stephanie, so that's just me. And let's see, I do all the financing stuff, accounting, bookkeeping. Finances are not fun, but they're a necessity for business. So try to take care of all that. I try to keep everything organized. I used to be a teacher way back in the day, and I think it's helped me out a lot with trying to get everything organized and talking to customers. You learn a lot talking to students and parents, so it has prepared me well for talking to customers. I'm not sure which one's harder. They might be equally as hard. So that's been a good preparation for me for customer service. And yeah, I do tutorials for Final Cut. I'm Final Cut Steph, and I love Final Cut. I know everyone's like, oh, Premiere, I love Premiere, but I like Final Cut. I can cut a lot faster on Final Cut.
We split that. You handle the Apple
He's
products.
Adobe.
I handle the Adobe products.
I'm Apple, so I love it. It just works for me. But I know both. I do know Adobe too. I do both platforms, but I do the tutorials for Final Cut, and what else? That pretty much is it.
Yeah, we both do tutorials. We do. Every single day there's something new. We're either doing tutorials, fleshing out what a new product looks like, finishing products, coming up with product designs, experimentation. There's a lot of product work, whether we're in the studio or working in the box. Lots of tutorials, lots of social networking, lots of customer service, lots of strategy planning. We're always looking at 2 or 3 quarters ahead of now, like what do we have planned, what do we want to do, where do we want to go. And she's very humble. When we go to NAB or we have a booth at NAB, it's all her. And it's not easy to have a NAB booth. It's not like you just cut a check and that everything magically happens. There's a million different vendors. There's all these different rules, all this different paperwork you got to fill out. Everything's got to be orchestrated, and it's really controlled chaos. That's all her. She's got what we call the Rampant Bible. It's about that thick. Everywhere we go, she's got everything all worked out, and all this stuff only happens. Rampant's basically standing because of Stephanie. And I should say that we're expanding our sites and our stores. 2016 is going to have probably another half dozen new stores. And the very first new store is Rampant Backgrounds, rampantbgs.com. And that we are working with contributors. That we have other artists from outside of the company working with us. Really good friends, Brent Willett and Chris Gates. Dear friends of ours. That's another thing Stephanie does. She handles paying them. They don't work for free. So, and they shouldn't. So, she does so much. All the websites. Every time I come up with a crazy idea, like, hey, wouldn't it be great if the website does blah? She's like, I'll write it down.
It's on the list.
It's on the list. So, that's basically who Rampant is, what we do every day. I'm constantly experimenting, working with new designs, coming up with new ideas, working with beta testers, talking with people. We've got some really crazy collaborations coming up this year. The thing with Iographer, Dave, who runs Iographer, one of the nicest people on the planet. If you've never met Dave, you need to. Iographer are great people, and we're super, super excited to be a part of that. That's our first collaboration of many, many collaborations this year. You're going to see us partnering with a lot of different kinds of people, including some people that I'm truly, truly honored to be working with. Some people I really admire. in this industry and in other industries. It's a trip. We can't talk anymore about those particular collaborations because they're in their infancy and we're working things out. But it's going to be crazy. I mean,
it's a big year. We have a lot going on.
It's a big year. Very different year for us. We've been doing this 6 years now.
Yeah, this is our 6th year.
It's crazy. It's 7 days a week, literally 24 hours a day, almost. I mean, if I'm not up, we're at least rendering. We've got 5 or 6 iMacs, a couple Mac Pros, a half a dozen laptops, and probably more iPads than you can possibly imagine. They're all doing something. Everything here is being used. We've got over here a live tutorial station that Stephanie does her tutorials. It's also a blab station. We do lots of live events, live discussions with people. I mean, there's just a lot going on, and so
we have a lot this year.
We have a lot
going on.
So I like to say this: we don't work at home. We live at work. Our work-life balance is almost zero. The good thing is we try. We live in Orlando, so when we do have time, we'll skip out to the parks real quick. They're cheaper than cable, so I mean, it's like $20 a month or something to go to Universal or to Disney. So I mean, it's stupid cheap. So when we can, we sneak out. Or when she said you've had enough, she knows I've hit like total burnout. She just grabs me and we go. So she keeps this business would not run without Stephanie. I mean, it's just she's the glue that keeps this thing together. And plus, yes, we are married. For those of you who ask us at every trade show, Stephanie is my wife. I'm her husband. We've been married forever. We've been together for almost 10 years now. And I just could not be happier. I mean, I really, truly enjoy working with my wife. I'm not sure if she enjoys working with me as much as I enjoy working with her. But yeah, we each handle a very discrete portion of the company, but it's split up. And yeah, so that's it. The only other outside people that we deal with would be our tax people and...
don't ever do your taxes.
No, don't do your own taxes. Don't represent yourself in court.
To do your taxes.
Don't perform your own surgery. Don't represent yourself in court, and don't do your own taxes.
Yeah, send those out.
Get a professional.
That is one of those costs that
come
back to you.
Hire a pro. Change your oil. That's fine. You want to save some money? Change your own oil. That's fine. But don't perform your own surgery, and sure as heck don't do your own taxes. And then of course we have an amazing PR agent, Kevin Burke from Burke PR. He's just awesome. He's like the third member of our family. So, So, what else is going on?
Well, how about people always ask us? They were like, "Well, what got you here? What made you become Rampant? What is your background?" I feel like I just met the neighbor across the street. They just moved in, and they were like, "How did you do this? How did you start?" And that's a pretty common question. So, how did you start Rampant? Go.
Oh, okay. Well, we'll get to you then. I worked in Hollywood for many, many years, way, way back in the day. I went to film school at Full Sail. I graduated in the mid-'90s, went out to Hollywood for a little over a decade, about 12 years or so, and worked on a bunch of different shows, worked for a bunch of different directors. I was fortunate enough to work for Aaron Spelling, Glenn Larson, Oliver Stone. Worked on a bunch of different movies, TV shows. Worked on Any Given Sunday, Lake Placid, Dude, Where's My Car, Idle Hands, Charmed, Ally McBeal, Roswell, tons of the MTV Movie Awards, so many music videos. And this is when music videos were cool. I worked for Dre, I worked for Snoop, I worked for Eminem, worked for Mariah Carey. I worked at a lot of big facilities like Encore Visual Effects where the shots just kept coming through and through and through. You know, you're sitting at your desk and there's just plates after plates just saying, hey, we need this or hey, we need that. Rig removal, wire removal, morphing. I mean, whatever the shot was, it's just, you had to do it. So we had to become proficient in everything that we possibly could. And it was some of the best training I've ever had. I owe everything I know to the people who taught me. And from there, I left LA to go work for the theme parks, which I love and adore. I'm a theme park junkie. If I could have my own theme park or design my own theme park or work for theme parks in a design capacity, I absolutely would. I've done a lot for Disney marketing, so much for Disney marketing. I've done Universal. Oh, shoot, Sony, just a lot. But one of the most fulfilling gigs that I've ever had was being able to work for the military. I've worked for the Army, the National Guard, and the Marines. For 2 years, I worked for an in-house ad agency for setting up an in-house ad agency for the National Guard. And we worked on all kinds of crazy projects with one of my favorite directors, Perry Jenkins. He's a great guy. And it was just an honor to work for the country. It was a completely unique environment and just lots of fun. So that in a nutshell is how I started. And Rampant came about with all my editor friends wanting me to work on their projects. I just can't go in that many places all at once. So I started developing a long time ago. I started creating elements. You know, when I first started in Hollywood, you couldn't generate fire, you couldn't generate water, you couldn't do any of that stuff, and there were very few plugins. The particle systems were in their infancy. You're talking about After Effects before it was Adobe, and even in the early stages of After Effects itself, the plugins were limited and the render power was very limited. So you're talking about shooting things practically, and the people who taught me how to create effects worked on the original Star Wars way back in the day. So I'm honored and grateful for that experience. So I've taken that experience, and that's how I create everything. I start in the camera, and then I work outside of the camera when necessary. But my friends were constantly asking for my effects work. For, hey, I need you to add style to this, or some clients go put some stank on this. If you've heard any of my tutorials, and that's what I was known for. I need to spice things up, and it got to the point where I was so busy that I started just sending people my elements and say, look, here's all you do. Just take this, put it on the timeline, switch to blend mode, and you're good to go. And after a while, a lot of my drives would just disappear, and people would love them. And actually, it was Stephanie's idea. She's like, if your editors are so crazy about these drives, because I couldn't get my drives back, why not make drives for everybody? So I was like, wow. So we started shooting. Right? I shot back in the day. I shot on film. I've shot on Phantoms. I've shot on Reds. I've shot you name the camera system, and I've shot on it. And so now we have our own camera systems. We have our own glass. We have our own lights. And we just started shooting and developing the library. And a long time ago, we started with an HD library, and now we have a 2K, 4K, 5K library. And so that's it.
Yeah,
that's my side of the story. But her side of the story is equally as compelling, if not more interesting.
No, it's not as interesting. So while Sean was working, we were together. I was teaching. I started out being an art teacher, and I also taught biology in high school. And I love teaching. I love my kids. I love my students. They're just amazing. And so as I'm teaching, Sean has a full-time job. Plus, he's doing this new company thing that I wasn't really sure what it was about on the side, and he was doing it at night, and I was like, what is going on? What are you doing? Why don't I ever see you? Kind of a thing. So I'm teaching, he's doing that, and I started to see certain places where I could fit in, and so I kind of started taking over things like customer service at first, and then I was seeing that, I could possibly like to learn how to do web design, so got some books, did some training and found out how to do some web coding and that kind of stuff. So kind of fit myself in that one. And then I did just start learning about, how he was doing things and what I could take off his plate. But with my background being teaching, it's taught me so much with customer service, especially because, after talking to students and parents, there's nothing more customer service oriented than that, which is fun and rewarding and sometimes very frustrating, which is pretty much all of customer service in one little ball there. So teaching has really helped me become who I am today, and kind of finding a place in the company. It just sort of worked out. So I just kind of came together with Sean and sort of broke everything up, and he took his side and I took my side, and that's kind of how everything began. But I'm also a painter. I love painting.
Amazing painting. Love it.
I love oil painting and watercolors. They're my two passions. I wish I got to do more of it, but running a company is the hardest thing I've ever done. It is. I thought teaching was hard with coming home and grading papers and doing all this extra stuff for teaching, but no, this is by far the hardest thing I've ever done, and I love it. I didn't know that I could work, 50 hours, 60 hours a week and just love every minute of it. So it's kind of an interesting thing to do, but it's fun. And so I love painting and art. I am actually hoping to create and start, I actually have an idea, but I'm hoping to start a children's book this year. I have a whole character and story and series going, so I am hoping I can do that, and I'm doing that actually on the iPad Pro with the Apple Pencil. So I'll have to get some footage of that. For sure. It's so neat. It is the coolest drawing thing. I don't know what you call it.
That's probably the best way to market that. The coolest drawing thing. Apple, you can have that one. The next one's
I don't know what to say about that, but it is really cool, and it's my new favorite toy. Whenever I'm not working, I'm on that thing trying to better my skills, because it's a whole different way of thinking and drawing and painting. It's not like doing it by hand. So that's a new fun task for me. And that's kind of how we are. We're always trying new things and learning the next thing and finding out that, oh, this would be a good product for people. So it's kind of one of those always learning, always
lots
learning
of experimentation,
yeah.
lots of trial and error. There's probably a dozen or so products that are always on the shelf that may or may not ever see the light of day. Lots of experimentation, lots of different technology, lots of different just weird things. You know, our studio looks like a fun house. There's mirrors and glass and things that reflect, and it's just out of control. I mean, you know, when we were cleaning it or whatever, and people walk by, they're like, "What the?" There's really no way to explain it. This is basically the format for this show. It's just a behind the scenes talking about anything and everything. You know, we have other shows and other things that we're doing. One of the things I'm most passionate about is Ask Rampant. You can go to AskRampant.com. These are tutorials that we've created. I work in the Adobe platform, so I solely create tutorials for Adobe because that's all I use right now at this point. Hopefully I'm going to get Final Cut Steph here to redo the tutorials I've already done and do other tutorials and other techniques exclusively for Final Cut and for motion. And I'm hoping to get maybe Kevin McAuliffe, who's a good friend of ours and an amazing, just a ridiculously talented human being. Hopefully we can get him to do stuff for Avid and whatnot. But this is not Rampant training. We have plenty of Rampant tutorials on how to use Rampant, how to make things cool using Rampant. But these are animation and editing and compositing techniques that I use every day for my clients, for our promos, for everything. That people ask us about, like, hey, you know, I think the guy's name is Deshaun. He wrote us so many times, and I feel bad because from the outside it looked like I wasn't responding, and we absolutely were. We're just so busy that I finally sat down with Steph and said, okay, this guy Deshaun's got an amazing idea. I want to show people how I do what I do, and the reason why I'm so passionate about it is because there's a handful of editors and artists out in LA who taught me everything I know. I would not be the artist I am today without those people. And they taught me freely. They sat me down, they showed me all their techniques, they allowed me to just take notes and just watch them and just absorb their knowledge and just put their tricks into my bag of tricks. So it's only right that I pay that forward. And our stuff is absolutely free. You go to AskRampant.com. Right now I think we've got like 4 or 5 tutorials, and we're gonna always add more as the time allows. I personally am super full of anxiety. I hate being on camera. Even worse, I hate recording tutorials because I stutter a lot. And so you know, I just deal with that. That's my own personal thing. But there'll be more. As I get more and more comfortable, I'll rip them out as much as I can, and hopefully get Final Cut Steph here
that's the goal,
to do more as well. It's just balancing everything that we've got going on with all the collaborations and projects. And you know, I mean, shoot, what was it? What's it called? Black Friday was so insane. We had every room in the house making drives, every single thing. I think our power bill was like 5 times the normal that it was. I'm surprised they didn't think we started a meth lab or something.
I had to pull out folding tables.
It was unbelievable.
You couldn't even walk around our house. It was just all folding table, folding table, Mac Mini. It was crazy.
We had a little more than a dozen Mac Minis. We had laptops. We had Macs themselves, Drobos everywhere. I mean, it was just insane. So depending upon our schedule, and if we're not doing that, we're going on trade shows, and those are the most exhausting and rewarding things because one thing we wanted to say is we really want you to comment. Please talk to us. Tell us what you like. Tell us what you don't like. Whatever. Just share a comment. Ask a question. We live in a bubble. Like I've said before, I don't feel like we work at home. We live at work. So we operate in a bubble where we don't interact much. And so when people call us or take the time to craft an email and thank us for what we do, that's really cool. Or if it's a critique, that's cool too. It's just great to hear from people, because we never know what's going on. And when we get a phone call or an email saying, hey, I used your thing on our project and the client loves it, and I can't believe I haven't found you before, that makes our day. Happens at trade shows a lot too, where people pull us aside and say, oh, I've got everything you have. I'm like, cool, that's pretty awesome. So hit us up with any questions you have about running a business or editing or Rampant or whatever, and we'll try to address it here. And that's
pretty much it.
That's pretty much it. So
we just want to know what you guys... we've been doing this for 6 years, and we have, it's all been trial and error for us. We kind of would like to give back to you if you'd like to know anything. We have learned a lot. We've stumbled a lot.
Oh, yeah.
We have crashed a few times. There's been some ups, some downs. So we're hoping to kind of address all of that for you and kind of share our experience with owning a business and running a business every day in our home with just the two of us. And even being married is a whole other conversation that we'll have.
Oh, for sure.
It's there's a lot that goes into everything that we do, and we're hoping going to share that too. So thanks again for watching. I mean, we couldn't do it without you guys watching us.
Yeah, so. I mean, a couple of things. We've had tons of pitfalls. We've had tons of successes. I mean, being in our 6th year, we're super happy that we're able to do this. We can't do any of this without you all. So thank you, each and every single one of you. We love you. Don't necessarily know each and one of your names, but just love everything that we hear and see on Instagram, on Vimeo, on YouTube, on all the Twitter, Facebook. Thank you for all your kind words. Thank you for supporting us. If it wasn't for you guys, we couldn't do this. So as a small token of gratitude, we put up 4kfree.com. If you've never been there, go check that out. You've got a couple hundred?
I think there's 40, a little over 40 volumes.
40 volumes, yeah.
That we have.
Of free effects from our 4K library. They're not watermarked. This is not a scam. This is not a scandal. We get a lot of weird comments like, oh, you're just trying to... No, I'm not trying to do anything. Unfortunately, it's hosted on MediaFire. For those of you who complain about that, I'm sorry. Giving away free 4K files is a very expensive endeavor, and it's just the two of us. So, and we've got a boatload of cats, so we got to feed them. We thank you so much. So go to 4kfree.com, check all that stuff out, and thank you every single one of you for supporting us. That's it. We'll have more episodes just like this. Take your questions, your comments. Go to runningrampant.biz. That's .biz. Biz.
It's all about the biz.
Thought we discussed that.
It's all about the biz.
Go to runningrampant.biz and you'll see more. .biz, not .com. .biz.
Biz. Remember, it's all about the biz.
Good gracious. That's representative of our relationship right there. That's it. That's the show. Probably won't be as long or drawn out in the next ones, but we hope you find this interesting. And if you have any comments or questions,
ask us stuff
here. Just
down
ask.
here. Right here.
Wherever this is.
Wherever it is. Ask us some questions. Yeah. We get them all the time, so we will answer as many as we can.
Yeah, I mean, instead of just answering individually, why not answer it on the show? Yeah. So try to keep it PG, all right? Or don't. That'd be for a fun show. No, or not. Okay. Maybe a Friday night show over some whiskey or something. Ask the tougher questions. No. We'll work it out. All right, so that's it. I'm Sean.
I'm Steph.
And she's very loud. She's naturally that loud, too, especially in the morning. It's fun to deal with. It's coffee. And that's it. This is Running Rampant.
Rampant.
We will see you in episode 2.
Bye.
Till next time, run rampant, y'all.
Running rampant, making music, petting kitties.
La 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 la. Make it really difficult. Which clap do you do? Just let me know when. Just let me know when. Just let me know when. Just let me know when we're going.
Okay.